All right, so they pulled a Chevy Malibu in my bay and said the customer says he needed 2 feet to stop and he heard a grinding noise. He's got no brakes. Sadly on these I think it's a 2016 Malibu. Yep, 4 of 2016. Mileage is 61,711 miles. That's about the life expectancy of a mid-level GM sedan. Sadly on these have vacuum pumps that are cam driven, and the vacuum pumps go bad, and then you want to have power brakes. But let's give Joe a minute to finish making noise. All right, 4 or 5 times around the wheel, it's tight. Let's start this up and see what kind of power brake pedal we have. Oh yeah, we got none. We got no power brakes. Check engine lights on. Well, oil change is due at 62.6. They're at 61.7, so it's only 900 miles away from needing an oil change. So it probably has some oil in it. Got low tire pressure, TPMS blinking like that, and then it'll stay on steady if the tires are low. It's definitely got a little bit of a rough idle deal going on. Let's pop the hood. I'm going to look at the oil and see if I can spot anything obvious, and we'll put the scanner on it and see why the check engine light's on. The vacuum pump is right here, and that goes right to the brake booster. So usually when you have no power brakes, you have a bad vacuum pump. Sometimes these things will even damage camshafts and stuff like that. So let's take a look at the oil and see what it looks like. Now, stick a vacuum gauge on there and see if we got any vacuum. And we probably won't. And then what you probably have to do on these, I believe the last time I did one, they told you to take the valve cover off and check for damage. But you can also just pull a vacuum pump out of the back, which requires removing the battery and some other things. Pull it out and then look to see if the cam's been damaged, because this has like an ear on it and the cam traps it, and the ears break off the cam when the vacuum pump locks up, and it makes a heck of a racket. Sometimes it sends metal into the engine, but it definitely damages, phone's ringing, the vacuum pump and potentially the cam. So you got to do the phone is ringing. You got to do a visual basically to see how much damage has been done. If you're real lucky, it's only a vacuum pump, but I still got to put a vacuum gauge on it and see. It could also be a booster, which is not very common. Uh-oh. Show you guys, because you can't feel it like I can. No vacuum. So it's got a bad vacuum pump at the very least. And like I said earlier, we'll have to open it all up and see if there's any damage been done. It's still running. If the check engine light's a cam sensor code, then we got big problems. See, I don't want you Ford and Chrysler fans that watch my channel be upset with me because I joke a lot about Ford and Chrysler. We fix Chevys too. You know, just so you guys know, they all break. It's not as funny, but it's true. Auto detect, see what kind of codes we got. We got codes. We got PO121 throttle position sensor 1, PO506 idle speed low, PO556 brake booster pressure sensor, which it's acknowledging it doesn't see brake vacuum from the engine pump, vacuum pump. P1101 intake airflow performance, P2097 post cat fuel trim system high limit. Now because the vacuum pump's not working, some of these codes can be related to that. So what I'm going to do basically is record all these codes, then clear them, and then let them know up front about the vacuum pump, and then we'll take it from there. The vacuum pump's an obvious fault and could be causing some of these problems, so rather than jumping through hoops on all of these other codes, we have to fix what we know is bad, clear the codes, and see what comes back. So let's do that. If we do the repair, then we'll show you that and continue the video on this car. Alright, we're going to do the vacuum pump on the Chevy Malibu. It looks like they're towing in a sweet Land Rover. Nice. We got a new vacuum pump here from the dealership, so we got better odds of it fixing it and working. Comes with a gasket, and they also brought us a gasket. That's kind of strange. But anyway, let's go ahead and pop this thing in there. First, I got to open it up and check for damage on the back of the cam. And if there's nothing broken inside there and everything, and just the pump failed, then it'll be cut dry. We'll just put the pump on, it should be fixed. Let's get the old one off and take a look. Alright. Oh, get back over here. There you go. Sometimes you got to dance a little bit to fit it out of there. Look at that. No broken camshaft. That's good. Make sure with my fingers nothing's cracked. Alright, nice. We should be able to put the vacuum pump on and this thing should be fixed. Just got to clean that area up a little bit. I want to get it close to the position of the original one, which is facing 2 o'clock. Definitely want to force that part. That's where you'll break stuff on your own. If it wasn't broken when you took it apart, you force that together, it'll be broken. And then you end up rowing backwards towards the banjos. That's the opposite of what we want. Get all my bolts started, buzz this thing in. This thing has a quick release spring lock on it, like the European radiator hoses, and some even domestics are starting to use those spring clip hose retainers. So snaps right on there. When you pull it apart, obviously you just slide it back and it pops right off. This battery HUD's like has a hold down on the side, a hold down on the top, encased in like 4 pieces of plastic. Very interesting setup. Not sure why they elected to do it this way, but like I always say, hey, if I can do something to make an engineer happy, so be it, because obviously they're not very happy. What? The big washer goes on the plastic. Small washer on the metal. A couple more pieces of plastic in strategic locations. We're ready to start this thing up, see if it's got power brakes. Alright, the moment of truth. Oh yeah, that's better. We got brakes now. We got brakes now. Woo, that's nice. I'm gonna look at the air pressure in the tires. I'm gonna take this thing for a quick drive. Hope you guys got something from this Malibu repair vacuum pump. Similar to like what a diesel has. We took a quick look, made sure nothing was broken inside. Obviously you saw how we diagnosed that there was no vacuum. If the pump's being turned, there's no vacuum, the pump's bad. Pretty simple. New one's working great. I got tons of brakes now. So, it's been a pleasure having you guys here. Hope you're having a great rest of your day. Remember to torque that like button at the bottom of the screen and subscribe if you want to see more tool and automotive repair related content and where I combine the two. You guys are awesome. I'll see you in the next video if you subscribe and click the bell.